Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video. You may know it already, but I love Heptabase and it is my primary note-taking app and I use it almost every single day. But just like any other app, it has its problems and I want to share one of the biggest ones and one of the reasons I sometimes hate this app because every app has a problem and I want you to know of every problem before choosing whether or not you're going to spend money and invest money into this app. And in my case, I have a very set organization inside of here. So I have a lot of notes. I'm not going to zoom in because the main point isn't that you should read all of my notes, but I have a lot of them. And I have several ways of actually organizing them. So I use both tags and I use whiteboards to organize all of my different things. And all of this is great. I love it. And I generally love the app. I'm not going to switch because of this problem, but I have this problem in a lot of apps. And that is I often tend to end up with duplicates of notes because I time after time end up actually not finding the first note I made and end up making the note another time. So I end up with several different notes on the same thing, and most of the times I don't know which one of them is actually updated. And this happens a lot inside of this app as well, because there is no easy way to double check if you already have a, a note on the idea. It might be 6 months from now that I read something that I want to write down, and I can see that I already have a card on the subject, and I end up making a duplicate. And it annoys me a lot because it has happened a couple of times now. I have figured out a solution. It is not the best solution, but it is a solution, and that is to search for the idea or the note or something similar to the note before I start writing a new one. It isn't ideal. I wouldn't call it ideal in any way, but it is a possibility. The second thing is to actually ask the AI assistant. And I know that this is still a new app and it still needs time to develop, but actually having, like Mem has, a chatbot you can ask questions to, not as the only thing in the app, but as a extra feature, not necessarily like how Mem has implemented it, but having the possibility to actually get answers would be a lot easier than asking and getting cards, because right now, even though it is quite cool, it is basically a glorified search feature. That is what it is. It is basically a glorified search feature, maybe a little bit better because I can ask direct questions and get specific answers. So let's say, give me a few note-taking apps. Let's ask it to give me a few note-taking apps, and it does a good job, but there are a lot more note-taking apps inside of here than this actually mentions. So I would rather write note-taking apps, and here I can get a lot of my note-taking apps. Every time I have written note-taking apps, I can actually find it inside of here, and I am quite good at trying to write note-taking app, the words note-taking app, into all of the apps, because it makes it a lot easier for me to search for it later. After spending tons of times in different note-taking apps, I have learned that it is smart to actually do it like this. But I would love a better way. Maybe something like Mem has, maybe even something like Tools have, where you can review your different notes. The ability to review my cards would actually be quite nice and fun. As you can see here, I just read this before I wrote, or before I started the video. So I use the app a lot, but having the ability to review your cards, the biggest problem isn't necessarily just duplicates, but it is the fact that a lot of my notes, cards, and ideas get lost, and this is probably better than a lot of the other note-taking apps I'm using, because I have an overview of everything and I tend to go in and check them from time to time just to check on my different ideas. But reviewing should be a part of every note-taking app, especially big ones like this, where it is so easy to just jot down a lot of different ideas, forget about them, and never see them ever again. And that's two things that annoys me a lot with this app and makes me hate it sometimes. But overall, I'm quite happy with the app. And I am still going to use it as my primary note-taking app, because all apps have problems and you can't change an app out just because it has one thing or two things you don't like. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below, and I hope you'll see me again quite soon. I hope we'll see each other again quite soon.